Hey Mob, I want to share a really quick yarn with you, but I do want to preface, if you have little ones around, there is going to be strong language used because this is a strong language yarn. If you are giving time, energy, money or resources to caring about what other people think, and that energy, effort, time and resources that you are giving to what other people think, and it's stopping you from showing up either in your life, in your dream, in your ambitions, or taking responsibility, that is no longer a privilege that you can afford. Because if giving a fuck what other people think is stopping you from showing up, getting up, standing up, and stepping fully into yourself, it is stopping you from being brave. It is stopping you from being bold and unapologetic about who you are. It is stopping you from it's capping your income. It's limiting your truth. It's taking you away from your power. You don't feel like you can be yourself in that room, in that yarn, in that relationship, in that space, or in that dream. Then if you are stopping yourself from showing up fully because you are giving a fuck about what someone else thinks or what they're going to think because you tell them your dream or you speak your truth or you put in place a boundary, and that is impacting your mental health, your finances, your wellness, your power, your peace, and your potential and your purpose, then that is a privilege that you are stopping yourself from showing up. Because if you're stopping yourself from showing up, sis, if you're allowing other people and what they think about you or how they're going to react to something that's important to you or something that is limiting or capping or blocking your abundance, your power, your peace, your purpose, your warrior heart, your money, your time, your energy, your effort, then you must have resources there. But if you don't have the resources, then you don't have the privilege of giving a fuck, because it's time to get up. This was the yarn that was had with me today. If you don't know me, my name is Chantel Thompson. I'm a proud Barkindji Yimpa woman, and I'm known as the Barkindji warrior heart. I have gone from suicide to world champion in my 30s as a mother of 3, when I felt I wasn't good enough, when I felt I allowed my worth to be defined by my trauma, my experiences of postpartum psychosis and depression, other people's narratives around who I was allowed to be, and trying to hold on to relationships and dreams and versions of myself that I thought was acceptable to others. But I was abandoning myself or hiding myself or restricting myself to be allowed or good enough or safe or to be enough for other people and other dreams and other spaces. I limited myself and held myself back to fit in. But in doing so, I broke my own heart. I limited and capped and blocked my power, my peace, my purpose, my profits, my wealth, my worthiness, my wellness. The whole lot was limited because I gave a fuck about what other people thought or how I would be perceived or received in my dreaming and in my truth. And in doing so, I limited my earning potential. I limited my dreams. I put a cap on how far I was allowed to grow because that's how far I thought, oh, that'll still be acceptable. I was okay with people being uncomfortable, but I wasn't okay with being rejected or abandoned because I had a trauma history of that. And that's okay in the past. Something happened over the last couple of weeks that broke my heart, and I allowed myself to shut down in ways. I showed up to the bare minimum because I was giving a fuck and I was stopping myself from being myself again. And I wasn't being the unapologetic version of myself because someone else was saying that who I was being was disrespecting them, was hurting them in this community and in this dream, that who I was being and how I was showing up was not good enough for them. It wasn't what they wanted. And if me being that version of myself in their world, they didn't want a part of it. So I shut down, I backed off, I retreated. And then I had a big yarn with Aunty Karen, who has been guiding me, mentoring me, supporting me. And she said, baby, that's fine, but you got a choice to make. Them old people, they're saying you got a choice to make. One, remember that you asked for this. You accepted this and you said yes to your dreaming and your calling. You didn't have to do that. Just because they called you, just because you had the vision, didn't mean you said yes. And then you went further than yes. You said you fully surrendered and accepted the calling and the dreaming in your heart and in your life. So of course you're going to be chucked in the arena. That's where you're going to be prepared. Of course you're going to be tested. And of course you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And she goes, so baby, you can tap out now. No shame, no blame, no hiding. Like, it's your choice. If you want to be that version of yourself, that's fine. And if you choose to continue, you need to be prepared that you may have to be willing to lose everything and everyone and burn it all away, all the old selves and everything, to become who you need to be in order to become the guardian of this dreaming, to embody it. And then she goes, now do you want the next level of truth? And I said, Aunt, from you always. She goes, you ain't got the fucking time, the money, or the privilege of crying around and shutting down. You got a business to run. You chose to be an entrepreneur. You chose to step up for your babies. You chose to step up for Kiilalaana and keep it open. Like, you're making these choices, baby girl. And if you're going to choose this, then you need to get the fuck up and move, because your business ain't going to make money if you're not showing up. Your babies can't take care of themselves. Like, you got to get up and do what you need to do to fulfill your roles and responsibilities. Now, I'm playing on it a little bit, but in that yarn with Aunty Karen this morning, she loved on me. She held space for me. And she called me out. She held me accountable to who I said I wanted to be, what I said yes to, but also the responsibilities that I have. I don't have to fulfill those responsibilities. I can tap out and give them to someone else. I don't have to be a mother. I can run it. I can dump out on my kids, but I never will. I'll never dump out on my ancestors and my calling. So here I am, not fulfilling my responsibilities, and I'm giving up. I'm tapping out on my peace, my power, and my purpose because of how I'm being perceived in this group, in this space over here. And she's like, baby, you don't have the privilege for that. You don't have the resources for that. That's going to keep you broke. Look at the consequences from last year. And it wasn't about the fact that it didn't hurt. It wasn't about the fact that my heart wasn't broken and that I was at rock bottom. It was about the fact that there were consequences that I'm now living with because of how far into the darkness I went, how many times and how long I shut down and stayed down. My finances are restricted. My business isn't thriving yet or even sustainable yet. My mental health isn't at a stable, sustainable place yet. I'm building on it, and yet it's still fragile. My purpose is I still doubt myself. I don't trust myself. Parts of me don't trust myself because I've broken my own trust. I haven't shown up when I said I was going to or when I needed to. So to be called out of going, you don't have the fucking privilege or the resources of the time, energy, money, or mental health or health and well-being to give a fuck about what other people think, because that is holding you back. It is a block to your next level. It is a block to your abundance, your power, your peace, your purpose. And that has been resonating with me all day. She said, find moments where you can grieve, moments where you can acknowledge the heartbreak. And then you need to be able to compartmentalize it. You need to be able to put it over there, get up and do what you need to do in the day to meet each moment for what it can be. Do what you can and then come back to it. Process it a little bit more. But don't let your breaking heart get in the way of what you need to do to become who you can be and who you said you want to be. So if you are letting what other people think about you or what they might perceive or how they will receive you in your full power and your full self, do you have the privilege? Can you afford to do that? What are the consequences of doing it? And what is it costing you to hold back? If you'd like to know more, follow me on YouTube, on Instagram or TikTok under Chantel Thompson. If you want to know more, come and join me over in my Warrior Heart community over on School, where we share more of this. We share the real experience of what it takes to be a warrior heart in the world, to stand in your power, be your truth and follow your heart, because we need more people who are lit up and activated in their power, their purpose, their potential, and they're guiding from their heart and their peace, and they know what they're fighting for. Big love you, mob. This is Chantel Thompson, Barkindji Warrior, Warrior Heart.